Good day, good people. A question we've been getting a lot as we discuss lived experience is it enough for a presenter to simply disclose having lived experience, let's say with something like trauma or even complex PTSD, if they're up in front of a room educating others about dissociation, DID specifically? So we have some mixed feelings and thoughts on this, of course, because on one hand, we honor anyone who is vulnerable enough to get up there and share from any kind of lived experience. And as we discuss in Dissociation Made Simple, dissociation is not just something that shows up in DID or OSDD or the dissociative disorders. So yes, we think that's an amazing step in the right direction. However, we also don't feel it's sufficient to say, well, I have lived experience with trauma or with CPTSD, therefore I understand and can speak for the experiences of the plural community. This rubs me the wrong way for a couple different reasons. It's similar to what I feel when people say, well, I'm marginalized because I'm a queer person, therefore I understand the experiences of all marginalized people. There's difference, there's nuance. Sometimes it's not even as subtle as nuance, there's just key difference. So it's not okay to say, because I understand my thing, I understand what everybody with all mental illness or mental health problems go through. The second reason that this rubs us the wrong way is it is a higher degree of vulnerability, risk, and exposure to get up in front of a room or on a platform like this and say, I am a person with dissociative identities, or I have DID, or I have OSDD. That is a risk that we know many people out there who are teaching on trauma, who may also be plural, are not willing to take or are not yet willing to take. And I know for a lot of years, we hid behind well, I have complex trauma with a lot of dissociation. And it's where we were at the time. And so if that's where a lot of trauma trainers right now are at, if they do have plural identities and they can't come out about it, we get that. Yet we also do not feel it's sufficient to say, well, because I'm talking about CPTSD, I can speak for people who have DID and OSDD. We, as educators, as continuing education companies, really need to be listening to the people who are out about their lived experience and who can share not just from the lived experience, but everything we've encountered about being out and why it's tricky, why it's problematic, the level of stigma and hatred even that we've encountered in the field for being out. That's something you really need to listen to people who are out in discussing. We, of course, are working for the day that any conference, any continuing education program or certification that is advertising themselves as this is for DID or this is for OSDD, that all presentations, not just the token, all presentations will have someone with lived experience with DID or OSDD speaking. And for a lot of experts who CPTSD is primarily their lane personally, or they've done a lot of research and are research advocates in DID, that any presentation they would give, they are at least doing in concert as a co-presenter with somebody who is out about their lived experience.